Well, the opposite of countrymen coming together. We have the Olympics up on deck here.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk U.S. women's soccer team first. So in the group stage, the last game of the group stage, they get the win versus Australia 2-1. Trinity Rodman scored in the 43rd minute off of a Rose Lavelle corner kick, and she just kind of cleaned up the loose change there. And then she who must not be named scored from just outside the 18-yard box. It was an absolute piss rocket. Glanced off the goalkeeper's fingertips, and then into the top left corner. It was a hell of a shot. Like, to be fair, and then Australia scored in the in the first minute of extra time to make it interesting. But Team USA won their group stage, perfect 9 points, won all 3 games, and moved on to the knockout stage. So in the quarterfinals, they end up drawing against Japan. They get the win in extra time, 1-0. Trinity Rodman, in 2 minutes of the second minute of stoppage time in the extra time, so 105 minutes in, she goes deep, cuts back just outside of the 6-yard box, and then with her left foot goes far side upper corner and then bar down past the keeper. It is a magical shot. The picture on your right when you're looking at the screen is her like celebrating after. She actually said in the interview after, she kind of just blacked out. Like, she just saw Crystal Dunn pass the ball deep. She went and chased it down, and then the next thing she knows, she's like cheering and surprised. It was a very amazing moment.
Is that
And
is that shocking though? Like the fact that Japan pretty much almost stole this game, and then given the fact that their next opponent is an even tougher opponent in Germany.
well, yeah. So what happened was Japan was playing in a low block the entire time. They basically parked the bus the entire game, and USA was just not able to like really break it down. It took an absolutely magical shot from a an otherworldly talent like Trinity Rodman to make it happen. Like, this game, because Japan is very disciplined and they can stay at home, and they were just kind of taking their chances here and there when they showed up, but like on counterattacks. But it was very few and far between, and this had penalty shootout written all over it. But Trinity Rodman saved it from us. Japan's no slouch either. They're ranked 7th in FIFA, so like that's a pretty damn good team too. So when talking about Germany, Germany and USA were already played. Um, Team USA won 4-1 in the group stage meeting. So I don't think it's going to be a 4-1 this time. I'm not saying that at all, but I would say that Team USA is the favorite. And this coach for Germany, like, I was listening to some other podcasts, specifically the women's game on Men in Blazers Network. Um, and Sam Mewis was talking about how this coach is someone on Germany that he's more likely to lose his way instead of trying to like and try to impose his will, and what he wants to see happen, instead of trying to change his own tactics to try to do some trickery, and try to win in a low block type of situation. So I don't know that a low block, at least for the entire game, I don't think that that's going to happen, and Team USA can exploit that in other ways. They're having a little bit of issues with the low block, but if you can get deep and draw some penalties, you sort of negate that as well.
Right.
So yeah. Just one more quick note. That game against Germany is going to be happening tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And for a women's soccer team playing at 9 a.m. on the West Coast, that feels a little homophobic to me, but that's what they decided. Yeah, making all the lesbians wake up at like early like that, or if they're in work, they're working at 9 a.m. They can't watch it. I'm just saying there's a tinge of homophobia to it. I don't like it, and just putting it on the record there. But okay, in all seriousness, I'm probably going to be having it on my screen while I'm working in the office too, because I'm brave like that. U.S. women's national team announced they're going to play an international friendly against Argentina on October 30th in Louisville as well. So you have that to look forward to. Just like one quick note on the other side of the bracket for the Olympics, the other game that's going to be happening is Spain versus Brazil. Spain is going to be your favored team in that one. If Brazil can win, that means Marta gets one last game. She's been suspended for the last two for a pretty egregious red card in the last game of the group stage. So if Brazil pulls the upset, Marta gets one last game. If Spain handles business, they'll be the favorite in the gold medal match. Either way, you're playing for a medal at this point. If you lose, you're playing for a bronze on Saturday like on Friday, excuse me. And then Saturday is the gold medal game on August 10th at 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. Eastern, excuse me. So that's your WOSO update, your women's soccer update. Let's switch over to basketball. Somebody else talk. I need some water.
So we basically just had to round up the rest of the pool play here. USA men's get the win against South Sudan, 103-86. Again, I've already praised how well South Sudan has been. They literally were a country 11 years ago. Didn't even have basketball courts to practice on in their country. Had to go practice in different countries. So shout out to them for the guts and moxie they showed up with. Saturday versus Puerto Rico. Alvarado was pretty much the only NBA player who plays for the Miami Heat. He tried to do his little trickery where he hides in the corner and then sneaks up to try to steal the ball. It did not work. That game was all Anthony Edwards. I mean, he absolutely took over. He didn't break Carmelo Anthony's record as far as points go, but just sheer dominance of Anthony Edwards. The future's bright in the NBA.
I got Niners breaking news.
Oh, gone?
Matt Breida's coming back. That's running back Matt Breida's coming back. Nothing on Brandon Ayuk. Okay, back to basketball. I just needed to fuck with you guys a little bit.
Wow. So now you got it. Anthony Edwards has his windmill dunk. Very reminiscent of Michael Jordan. So they play next on Tuesday, which would be tomorrow. If you're watching it tomorrow, then it'd be today against Brazil. Brazil has two NBA players, one of them being Gui Santos. If you're a Warriors fan, you know exactly who that is. So the Brazilian team is the number one offensive rated team in the competition right now, and they're also the number one 3-point shooting team as far as percentages go. So USA is also dead last when it comes to giving up offensive rebounds. So it could be a recipe for a little bit of a scare there, but I think that talent of USA will outshine anything that Brazil throws their way there. But, that's why they zip it off. So we'll find out on Tuesday.
Yeah. They'll play, assuming they win, they're going to play the winner of Serbia and Australia too, by the way. That's the half of the bracket that they're on.
That's going to be a Duke fest. I don't know who's going to come out of that one, but I apparently there's going to be some bruised bodies because they're going to be checking each other all game. On the other side of the spectrum here, USA women, they finish up their brackets. They get the win against Belgium, 87-74. That game was a little bit of a scare there. I think USA was down all the way to about almost the fourth quarter there, and then they stormed back in. And Sabrina Ionescu gets the 40-foot 3-point shot to shush the crowd, because in the pool play, it all comes down to how many points you have differential. Could be the deciding factor of you getting a 1 seed or a 2 seed, or however it may be in your pool brackets there. So they do finish up the game against Germany on Sunday. They win 87-68. And I was trying to see who the women play next year. I'm drawing a blank on their.
So they're playing Nigeria next.
That's going to be a blowout fest. So I guess my biggest question is, it's the same thing with the men's. I feel like the shooting isn't necessarily there, and it's just dominant inside play that it seems to be carrying both of these teams, whether it's Anthony Davis or Brittany Griner. It seems to be that's how USA is winning a lot of their games. And I'm just curious if the shooting does want to show up, these games are going to be way more blown out than what we're seeing. Like USA winning by 20, 30 points. If the shooting comes around, 30, 40 points. Same for the women. If the shooting comes around, 25, 30 points, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So these games, though they're tight, we haven't seen the best of either one of these teams yet going into this.
You want to hear something funny? If assuming Team USA beats Nigeria in the upcoming match, guess who they're going to be playing the winner of? Serbia and Australia. So the men and the women have the same path in after winning their first game, assuming they win the first game. So they'll play the winner of Serbia and Australia, both the men and the women. It's just kind of magical how that bracket worked out that way. Just, fun facts.
That's great. I love that. That's great. Well, it looks like you've also got here the old medal count here. So I do find this funny. Most medal counts I've been seeing have been showing like the gold first,
Mhm.
but for
Yeah,
whatever
I was
for
going to talk about
whatever
this. Yeah.
reason, like Google and ones that are very US dominant, they don't show who's leading in golds. They just show who's leading in total medal counts, which is obviously going to be USA. Um, I do want to give praise to Australia. They have 13 gold, 32 medals total. They have half the amount of people coming from their country to play in these games between United States and France, and they're doing one hell of a job. So shout out to them. You know, they're less than Great Britain. They're less than China is what they brought to the game. So they hell of a job for them.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
disappointed in the United States. There's like an eligible 75, 76 gold medals, and you only got 19. That should be like 65.
What happened to greatness? No.
Awful.
No, actually, you bring up a point that I was actually going to bring up specifically about this medal count and the way that it shows on American media, just having total medals. So that way USA's up at the top all the time. I think I agree with you that I think we should show the gold medals like first, like it should be in order of gold medals, and then total is your tiebreaker, because we could see like last week we would have been like sitting, third or fourth
Right.
in terms of gold medals. This week we would have been sitting second. You could see yourself like getting hyped, getting excited as USA climbs up the standings. I think that it would be more patriotic. It could inspire more rah rah go USA to see us fighting our way up to the top of the medal count. If we sorted by gold first, I think that that's a missed opportunity by American media. So not the first time they've missed an opportunity on something.
Well,
Unfortunately, that's another story.
so swimming is all but done here. So
Yeah, we can
between
talk
United
about
States,
this.
yeah, between United States and China, I think the gold medals are pretty much locked in there for them. United States still has track running to go,
Oh,
basketball to go. So gold medals aplenty are still up afoot here. But
yeah.
speaking of swimming here,
Yeah, let's talk shout outs. Like these are just like a few names that I saw that I wanted to that I think we all wanted to give our stick taps to, So let's talk Katie Ledecky. She's now the most decorated American woman at the Olympics in American history. So that was 4 more medals this year. And so she has 14 career, 9 gold, 4 silver, and 1 bronze. And she went 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze this year. So, just continuing greatness. She won the 1500 meter freestyle by such a big margin that no one else was on the screen when she finished.
yeah, it was
And
great.
she now holds the top 20 fastest times ever in 1500 meters. And this particular win in the Olympics was her 8th fastest. So
Wow.
there's your yeah. So there's your Katie Ledecky update. Katie Led update. Yeah, I don't have it.
Katie Leduc. Yeah, have you seen the viral video going around? My wife showed it to me the other day, but Kaylee Ledecky was a child, and her dad was like part owner of a sports organization. Her uncle was an owner of a sports organization. I can't remember which one it is, but anyways, it was the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
And Michael Jordan is seen like covering her eyes while she's trying to eat popcorn, and she's just completely unfazed that Michael Jordan is just like trying to mess with her when she's a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone asked her, like, do you know who that was? Because there's obviously no audio back then. She goes, yeah, I knew it was Michael Jordan. Like, I knew who it was. He used to hang out with us all the time. It's just crazy that, that level of like, oh, I became an Olympic medalist. And I also used to play around with Michael Jordan when I was like 2 years old. It's crazy stories like that pop up. And there's also the girl that took a picture with LeBron James when she was like 7 and LeBron was 19. And then they both showed up at the Olympics this year and she showed him the picture. I love stories like that.
Yeah, it's fun. Speaking of fun, Simone Biles won the individual all around. That's the first American to win it twice. And before this Olympiad, every champ since 1976 has been a teenager. So Simone is 27 for those keeping score. So this is, 1972 was the last time somebody who wasn't in their teens won this event. So it's been, 50 years almost.
Wow.
More than 50 years. So that's a hell of a streak that just came to an end by an all-time great.
Also too, Rebecca Andrade, who won.
Yeah.
She won the floor. I also want to give her a shout out too. She is the
Oh, that's
most.
in the list. Yeah.
Oh well, we'll jump into it.
Go ahead. No,
She
no,
is the she is the most decorated Brazilian and Latin American gymnast of all time as well too. So, she beat out Simone Biles for that floor routine. So
yeah,
give her roses as
she
well.
absolutely crushed it. And then on the medal stand, both Jordan Childs, who got bronze, and then Simone Biles, Biles, that's fun. They were like basically the "we're not worthy" to her, like on the stand. It's a very fun moment
She
that
also
they all
had
shared
3 ACL surgeries, and to
Yeah.
come back and like win this,
on the
that's
same
impressive.
knee, same
That's
knee.
impressive.
She messed up her ACL 3 times, man. It's wild. Like, yeah, I'm in awe of these athletes, man. Speaking of awe-inspiring, Noah Lyles, he won the gold in the 100-meter sprint. He's the fastest man alive. He won it by 5 thousandths of a second. So when you're writing that out, it's 0.005 seconds. And where they measure it when you're running track, it's your torso. It's not your head
Or your foot.
or your feet or your hands. It's your torso, where your torso hits the line. And so when people are leaning forward, they're not trying to get their head over first. They're trying to get their shoulder first, because the shoulder, part of the torso. That's why they lean forward when it's, especially if it's a close race like that.
The crazy thing about that race is that he never led a single moment in that race until it mattered the most.
Until the right at the very end. If it's 101 meters, he I don't even know if he still wins it then. Like, he just found the right little moment, man. It's amazing. Like in the live call, the announcers didn't even realize that he had won it until like it went up on the screen, and like that stop is amazing. Like the picture from Timex or whatever.
Well, he literally can say with his chest now that he is a world champion.
That's right.
If you don't know,
he was
he's
the one
in the
that had
news.
the question.
Yeah.
He was the one with that. He was confused about why NBA call themselves world champions when they're not playing anybody else in the world except for other American teams. Which on the surface is a fair question, but then if you dig a little deeper, the NBA is the best basketball league in the world. But I mean, nobody's going to question that.
Which is with a bunch of world talent players.
Exactly.
I think that also needs to be addressed there too. And Devin Booker made a good point. He said today, he came out that no offense, no Lyles, he did win his race and gets to speak on whatever he wants to speak on. But at the same time, it's kind of probably harder to win in the NBA than it was to win anywhere else in the world, because you got all the best talent in the world, not on one team, just spread across. So he argues that it's harder to win there than it is to win an Olympic medal.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't know, man. It's kind of tough either way, but yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Kristen Faulkner, she started riding a bike for fun 7 years ago in New York City. And then she qualified for the Olympics and found herself in the top pack of 4 with about 3 kilometers left in the road course. And then she just found her opening, kicked it into high gear, and then ended up winning by almost a full minute, man. Like over the top competitors, and got the gold. Like it was wild. She found the opening, took it. It took off, and again, these athletes are amazing. I can't believe some of the stuff I'm seeing. Like to just pull away with 3K left to go in this race, like against the top competition. It's shocking. Like nobody ever sees that. Like it was. I don't have the words to describe it. This one's a little bit funnier that the internet is having fun with. French pole vaulter Anthony Amirati, he failed to qualify after a different pole got in the way during qualifications. So basically, he's going to try to qualify in the pole vault. He gets over most of the way, and as he's turning, his junk hits the pole and knocks it down, and he doesn't qualify for the semifinals.
That man should have jumped into a cold pool of water before he did that.
Yeah,
jump.
I know, right? Yeah.
It was funny to see all the different newspapers try to like put this as their headline and
talk around it. Yeah.
And then like one was like, loses qualifying because of his bulge with like a quote. And another one was literally like doesn't qualify due to penis.
Yeah, due to penis. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, his French cock and balls got in the way of him getting gold, man.
The
Due to
the
penis.
the last one we have here, she didn't win any medals, but Egyptian Nada Hafez won her fencing competition. Why is that impressive? Because she did it while being 7 months pregnant. And I think that is the most amazing thing that I could not believe how you could do that. And some people
But
have been
the
saying
thing is, the
she
baby had a sword, so he was.
that's what they're
It
saying
was
is
two
that
on one. It's two
yeah,
on one.
that's what
She's
they're saying.
fighting for two.
She cheated because she's got baby strength as well as mama strength, so it's cheating.
Right. No, that's a hell of an accomplishment. Not
How are
too many
you guys
pregnant
gonna
people get
forget my
to
boy Steve, the pommel horse guy?
pommel horse. Yeah,
He's America's best friend right now. He's
Yeah.
sitting on the bench
Clark
like
Kent.
Clark Kent,
yeah. Rips them.
rides that pommel horse and gets the Americans to medal.
I think he also took bronze in his own
He
personal,
did.
Yeah.
pommel horse competition. So
Yeah. Good on that dude. Yeah, the internet's boyfriend right now. Right up until Anthony Amirati's junk got in the way. Now he's their boyfriend.
yeah, I mean, there's so much. I mean, the Turkish air rifle or air pistol shooter that looks like he is everyone's dad coming off the couch. You got all these shooters with like these expensive equipment, and he's just got a pair of reading glasses on
Yeah.
and wins silver.
He's basically like in The Incredibles when Dash is running in the race and he's like trying to hold back and like finishes in second. I think that was the idea. Like he's actually a professional hitman, and so he was just kind of trying to hide it a little bit, but still want some glory. So that was kind of the joke going around right there. And my dad in the chat, like he probably he put in Turkish pistol guy right as we were starting to talk about it. So excellent timing there, pops. Yeah, so I mean, there's just a ton of stories at the Olympics that about this part that I love, and this is why I love the Olympics so much. Why a lot of millennials actually love the Olympics is to get the stories from people that we would have otherwise never heard of, never known anything about. I don't really watch much gymnastics outside of the Olympics. In winter sports, same with figure skating. I'm not super locked in, so this is my chance to like see these other sports. Hell, Brody Brazil is talking about handball on his channel now. I mean, there's a lot of shine that a lot of sports get only once, every 4 years, and this is the time, man. This is exciting.